Hello fellow human, hope you guys have a fabulous day and let's read some r/I don't work here lady stories. To the first one, no, I'm not a delivery driver, get the hell out of my car. So there's a pizza place close to where I live and sometimes after a long day at work, I'm not in the mood to cook, so I place an order on their app for takeout when I leave work and pick it up on my way home. Normally, it goes off without a hitch. Sometimes I even get there right as they cut it and place it in their warming bags. Today, however, things just weren't going my way. As I finally get there, the delivery guy was on his way out, important later, and when I was on my way back to my car, up comes the blind tramp, BB. Apparently, she thinks I'm a delivery driver and that they all wear business casual. I'm opening my door and had my pizza on the roof of my car as she stomps up to me and starts yelling. I don't register what she's saying at first, long day at the end of a long week with little sleep, but apparently she had ordered delivery and the guy hadn't delivered yet, and her little brats at home were hungry. I managed to get a word in while she takes a breath and try to explain that I'm not the delivery guy, but BB isn't having any of it. BB then stops yelling and grabs my pizza off the roof of my car, thinking it's hers. She takes one look at it, realizes it isn't hers, and throws it on the ground. Can you believe it? I'm standing there, still a bit shocked at her behavior, when she opens the passenger side door of my car and gets in, apparently looking for more? I finally snapped into action and go around and drag her butt out of my car, and, knowing he had already left, tell her to go inside and yell at the delivery guy. She apparently accepts now that I'm not the delivery guy and without saying a word, stomps inside, leaving me out there with a pizza with extra pavement for a topping. Not willing to give her the benefit of getting away with this crap, I follow her inside, curious as to how the staff will handle this and to get another pizza. BB is mid-screech already as I walked in and stand by the door. Apparently, she doesn't believe that the delivery guy already left because the dumb butt outside said he was. The guy at the counter, Bob, who's worked there for a few years and is a nice guy, sees me by the door and asks if she's telling the truth. I simply tell him the tramp is crazy and owes me a pizza. Bob then assures BB that the delivery guy left 5 minutes ago, and apparently she accepts this and starts to walk to the doors. Bob then chimes in and says that since she wouldn't be able to get home before the delivery guy made it there, she could pay here and he'd tell him to just leave it and run. She agrees, mumbling something about them not being as stupid as she thought, and though she apparently had a problem with the amount, which wasn't what she was quoted on the phone. Bob told her what was on the receipt: her extra large vegetarian pizza, a 2-liter Pepsi, my large pizza, and one of those big cookies. BB goes crazy at Bob, asking what the duck he was thinking trying to pull that. Bob, somehow managing to keep a straight face, asks her if what I said was true, to which she replies, "So what if it is?" Bob just says, "You break it, you bought it, simple as that." And BB then in a huff turns to try and apparently run away and try and get home in time, but stops dead when she realizes I'm still standing there by the door. I just motion my fingers for her to turn back around and pay, and Bob adds that he can always call the driver and have him lose the pizza. BB looks genuinely shocked and said we were just trying to blackmail her. Over pizza? Really? After a minute of pouting, she caved and paid, swearing at us the whole time. She then stomps out, gets back into her car, and peels out the parking lot like she was being chased by the cops. And Bob tells me that my new pizza will be about like 12 minutes. He then says he added the cookie as a way of apologizing for her, and was surprised that she didn't notice it, and also he'd go back and void my original order to give me a refund. We laugh, and eventually I get a fresh, hot replacement pizza and the cookie and go on my way after thanking Bob again for dealing with her the way he did. While writing this up, I realized that Bob never actually called the delivery guy, and that I should ask him about it next time I go in. Thought that I had stated this, but my pizza was a plain one. The one thing that people naturally assume once they find out that I'm Hawaiian is that I like pineapple on my pizza. No, I hate that! It's an abomination of pizza and good taste. Later on, I went down there to see how things turned out, and Bob was there. He's always there. Might even live there for all I know, along with the guy who was delivering last night. Bob said he got another angry call from BB when she got home. Not long after I left, so she didn't live too far away herself. And she was furious that the pizza wasn't there when she got home, not realizing that there were other stops on this guy's route. After she hung up, Bob called the delivery guy and filled him on her, and told him to ring once and leave it. Delivery guy gets to BB's lair and can hear BB's spawn playing video game loudly, not just the game, but the kids were yelling at other people playing online. So the delivery guy decides to ring once, wait a minute, no one answered the door, and just left her order on her welcome mat. Neither have heard from BB again, so for all they know, it's still out there. Oh, and for those out there who apparently in shock that a Hawaiian doesn't like pineapple on his pizza, two things. First, it didn't originate in Hawaii. It was a Canadian who first did it, so blame Canada. And second, my father grew up in New York, so I guess I inherited my fine taste in pizza from him. What I realized from this is that Bob isn't a rookie. He said he could call, not that he was going to call. Nice! On to the second story. One of my supervisors tried calling me in after I quit. Some years ago, I worked at a place that rhymes with McDonald's. You know, the place that sells heart attacks as food and advertises it with an ugly clown. Anyway, I worked for them for 6 grueling years. In those 6 years, I've got hundreds of stories, but this one stays with me since it was the first one to happen right after I quit. First off, my reason for quitting was that they wouldn't accommodate my one simple request to leave through an alternative exit due to my abusive ex waiting for me in their lobby every day. Every day I came to work in an Uber to avoid walking into him, and every day he'd come in, order something, and sit for hours staring and glaring at me until my shift would end. He would then follow me outside the door and try to harass me while I'd get into an Uber, only to then show up at my apartment to keep threatening me or to break windows. I begged them for a solid month to just let me leave through another door to get a head start to my ride, and every single time I'd get some BS answer and they'd tell me I was overreacting. I basically got sick of constantly wondering which day would be the day he'd come in there with a gun, and I told my supervisor she wouldn't let me leave through an alternate exit, then I'd quit. She laughed in my face. Let's call her Mary. About a week later, after I called, left a nice resignation letter to my big boss who totally understood, and after dealing with unemployment, I get this phone call. S is Mary, the supervisor, M is me. S: so, when are you coming in, OP? Because you've been gone about a week and we're short-staffed. I know the other bosses let you do whatever you like, but I'm putting my foot down, girl. You better be here in 45 minutes or you're fired. Me: remember the last time I worked with you? S: yeah, over a week ago, boo. You cannot keep playing these games, girl. This crap isn't cute. Your little boyfriend hasn't been here either, so you can calm down now. Me: yeah, no. I told you that since you couldn't accommodate my one request, I would quit. I'm even collecting unemployment already. S: so, are you coming in or not? Because if you're not, I'm writing you up and I'll make sure you never work anywhere again. Me: Mary, I don't work for you. I quit, and I'm literally collecting unemployment as we speak. What don't you understand? S: you have 30 minutes. Me: fine, I'll be there. Obviously, I didn't go in, but I did block Mary's number and had the time of my life greeting some random coworkers. She would send them to my house to try and get them to bring me into work. She was nuts. My coworkers just got a kick out of getting paid to walk 45 minutes to my house and chill. The ex was taken care of legally eventually, and I've since moved, but memories of that conversation always remind me of this subreddit. Wow, that was a wild ride. Very crazy. Good thing that you're safe now and away from all of that. Like, jeez. The third story. No, you're not the owner's daughter. Finally, a place to drop the story of my first and so far only r/I don't work your lady moment. So, about a year or so, I decided I want to go to a bar. So I hit up a friend to go out that night. He had a family thing, but since we know the owner of the place, I figured I'd just hang out the bar until his arrival and have a pool table secured as well by the time he got there. So, about 11 p.m., I make my way to the bar, go behind the counter, and fist bump the owner, explain that my friend's coming, and just hang out there with him and the only employee meanwhile. At one point, the owner goes out back to the bathroom, and the employee goes to take a phone call outside, so I'm just drinking my beer and checking my phone, as I'm in a hold the fort capacity. You know, don't let anyone else behind the counter, since it's opened on the end, and there's a sort of a hallway leading to the pool tables on the back section. And if people get in behind the counter, well, there's where all the booze is. Enter the lady of the hour, about like 20, blonde air-filled head. We'll call her CB for Crazy Tramp. I see her shaking her open hand over the counter on my peripheral vision, so I look up thinking it's maybe someone I know, but no, she just starts berating me. CB, oh my god, quit drinking on the job and serve us already. We've been waiting here for years, trying to flag you down. Me, oh no, I'm not a... CB, cutting me out. And leave that ducking phone already. You're supposed to do your job. We want our drinks already. We're paying your salary, you lazy ducker. Me, losing patience. Look, kitten, I don't work here. I'm just having a drink, so... CB, cutting me out again. Oh, shut up. I'm the owner's daughter, so just make our drinks or I'll have my daddy fire you. Her friend standing by her had the most smug face I've ever seen. And at that point, I lost it and broke out laughing my butt off. I turn around and see the owner rushing over with some guy behind him. Apparently, this unsung hero saw the mess get started and went to get him. I grab him by the shoulder and in a panicked voice, me, oh god, the owner, this is terrible. The owner, what? What is it? Me, you screwed some tramp when you were like 10 or so, and this girl, pointing to CB, says that she's your daughter. Whatever will you do now? Your wife is going to kill you. He caught up what was going on and started laughing, and I then broke down as well. He told the CB and her smug friend to get lost, and they sputtered something about her dad. But my friend just turned the counter lights towards on his face and said, I own this place, get the hell out! The two smug princesses stood up in a huff and left just as my other friend walked in. They shoved him aside and then tried to slam the door, only to have it snag one of her purses and throw them both on the curb without slamming the door, cause you cannot slam self-closing doors. Haha! Well, she just took the I know the owner thing to a whole new level, and you actually know the owner. Amazing story. You made my day. On to the fourth story. Look at me. These are my groceries now. Oh boy, I can finally contribute. I'm in the grocery store on my way home from work. I work private security, so I'm wearing black jacket with cloth yellow badge sewn in. I've been mistaken for a cop and once LP, but never a stalker. Pursuing the mac and cheese because I'm a lazy bachelor. An older lady approaches me and I don't pay her any mind, which was a mistake. She's clearly of an Italian heritage and short in both stature and temper. Her, excuse me. So I step aside thinking she wants something off the shelf, my second mistake. Her. Where's the honey? Me. I think it's down aisle 8. Her. Well, aren't you going to take me there? Me. No. Her. What kind of service is this? You're supposed to walk me to an item and hand it to me. No wonder your store is going bankrupt. Me. I don't work here, lady. Piss off. Her. Oh, yes, you do. I've seen you arranging the shelves. Now are you going to walk me there, or do I have to get you into trouble? So, side note, I actually used to work in this store. I sold fish for 6 years and was responsible for setting up the display every morning. Also, I like to come in and secretly judge the guys who do that now because it looks like crap, but I digress. As I'm sure some of you ex-drones can attest, some habits die hard. I still block the shelves off after I grab something purely out of habit. Me. Lady, I don't work here. Her. Yes, you do. You're just lazy. At this point, I've had more than my fill. I watch constructions on a pipeline for a power plant which is not popular with the locals. Every day, I have to walk through a picket line and deal with angry protesters and slogans and insults all day. I'm tired, I'm cranky, and quite frankly, I don't feel like listening to this literally old bag tell me what's what. So I decided enough was enough, and I'd have some fun. I look into her cart and reach out for a box of elbow noodles. I pick it up, take a second to look at the bag, and casually drop it in my cart. I looked at her, and her mouth is open like a dead red snapper with the most bewildered look on her face. Without giving her a moment to process, I reach back into her cart and grab a small jar of mayonnaise and put it in my cart as well. This time, she starts stammering, but I'm not done yet. I grab a package of coarse noodles tied to things and look it over. I look her in the eye and extend my arm as far as I can, hold it straight, and just open my hand and let it fall to the floor. Me, I don't like Alfredo. This seemed to have snapped her back into reality because she puffed herself up and yelled, Her. What in the hell do you think you're doing? Without breaking the eye contact, I pause for a moment and says, Look at me! These are my groceries now! She gets the most indignant expression and hurries past me. Down a different aisle, I notice the store manager, the one who fired me. Long story short, he's the boss from the office space, and this woman is having a heated talk, and when she noticed me, she points me out to him. He and I make eye contact, and I wave with the biggest crab-eating grin I can muster. And he just shakes his head, and I move on to the meat section. He never approached me about it, so I can assume that she didn't get me in quite as much as trouble as she was hoping. I put the mayo back because I already had some, but I kept the noodles as a trophy. I ended up picking the Cracker Barrel cheddar and bacon mac and cheese as a treat to myself. Well, I don't think I've read an I Don't Work Your Lady story where the customer goes to complain and it's to someone who's already fired the OP. Nice! That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.